Hi, I'm Jay Escobar, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 tips on how you can stop listening to yourself and start talking to yourself. A lot of times we get trapped in this paradigm or this mentality that uh, speaks to us in a negative way all the time. We as human beings are negative creatures by nature. We always think the worst. We always think in fear based terms. And there's a lot of people out there who succumb to those thoughts and let those thoughts rule and run their lives. And it's really if just a shift in focus, if you can just stop listening to yourself and start telling yourself and talking to yourself and applying just a few things on a daily basis, you can start seeing different results, start being a more positive person, and start seeing the success and the results that you want in your life with your mentality. Your mindset is so important, and if you've always got these self-defeating thoughts and self-defeating um, actions in your mind, it can really defeat you mentally and really make you weak mentally, and that will affect you in so many areas in your life. It'll affect your people around you, your family, your friends. Um, you get a certain stigma and a certain a certain type of aura, I guess you could say, when you have these types of negative thoughts. And my wife, she has this friend who uh, very much so has these negative beliefs and these thoughts in her mind that kind of victimize herself, and she believes uh, these things that we can tell she says to herself in her mind because of her actions and because of the things that she says. So I want to share with you 3 tips on, and if you struggle with this, just know that it's okay. It's everybody has these thoughts. Okay, that's the first and foremost what I want to say. I have negative thoughts. Everybody has negative thoughts. It's just about trying to manage those negative thoughts and ignore them and block them out in your mind. And by no means am I an expert at this or anything like that. Um, I know a few techniques. Just these 3 tips have really helped me. And I'm not this PhD or anything, psychology major or anything, but these 3 things have helped me personally, and I know they'll help you too. So the first one, I got some notes here. The first one I learned from an author named T. Harv Eker. He has a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and this book really um, helped me in the financial world to control my finances more. And he talks about a lot about programming and how you're programmed to make a certain amount of money. You're programmed to do certain things. You're programmed, and he mainly kind of talks about the financial aspect of it, in your programming and how your immediate surroundings and your parents have put programming into your mind, like money doesn't grow on trees, and we don't have enough money, or you know, little things like that you don't really notice when you're young, but you kind of adopt subconsciously in your mind, and he helps you get rid of those. It's a really good book. I'll go ahead and link it in the description. But in this book, he has a free PDF on what he calls declarations, and this is the first tip. Declarations. Okay, there's affirmations and there's declarations. An affirmation is something that you say to yourself that hasn't happened yet or isn't true. So a lot of times you could say, "Oh, I'm I'm so good looking," right? Some people will use that one if they don't feel confident in their way they look, and the little voice inside their head goes, "No, you aren't," And so an affirmation is something that the little voice inside your head doesn't believe. A declaration is just you're declaring that something is going to happen in the future, and the little voice in your mind can buy that because you're not saying that you're that right now. You're saying that I'm going to be this way in the future, and I'm committing to being this way in the future. So it's just a little bit of a little shift there, and these declarations that he gives have really helped me. I continue to say these all the time. I said them on a daily basis for probably 4 to 6 months, and they've really helped ingrain inside my brain to manage my money better because I wasn't doing that. And I'll just read a few of these. So actually, I can just read all of them. So my inner world creates my outer world. What I heard about money isn't necessarily true. I choose to adopt new ways of thinking that support my happiness and success. What I modeled around money was their way. I choose my way. I release my non-supportive money experiences from the past and create a new and rich future. I observe my thoughts and entertain only those that empower me. I create the exact amount of my financial success. My goal is to become a millionaire and more. I commit to being rich. I think big. I choose to help thousands and thousands of people. I promote my value to others with passion and enthusiasm. I am an excellent receiver. I am open and willing to receive massive amounts of money into my life. I choose to get paid based on my results. I always think both. I focus on building my net worth. I am an excellent money manager. My money works hard for me and makes me more and more money. I am committed to constantly learning and growing. And then the last thing that he has you do is after you say these declarations, after you say each one, you can do it after you say each one, or you can say them all and then do this at the very end. You touch your fingers to your temples here, your mind, and you say, I have a millionaire mind. And these are examples of declarations and different things that you can say that induce positivity into your mind. And when you say them over and over again on a daily basis and confirm those things on a daily basis over the course of time, your subconscious begins to adopt these thought patterns and these thought waves. And when that happens, it begins to change your thought process. And when you change your thought process, you change your programming. When you change your programming, you change your thoughts. When you change your thoughts, you change your feelings. And then when you change your feelings, you can change your actions. And he gives a formula in there. It's P leads to T, T leads to F, F leads to A, and A equals R. So your programming leads to your thoughts lead to your feelings lead to your actions, and your actions equal your results. That's his formula. So, and it all comes back to your programming. So when you can change your programming, when you say these things over and over and over again in your mind, this is a perfect example of stop listening to yourself and start telling yourself and talking to yourself. When you talk these things, when you do this in a mirror, when you say these things in a mirror and you look yourself in the eyes every morning or every night or whenever you do these, it just catapults your results because you can see yourself saying these things and you can hear yourself at the same time when you see yourself saying these things, and it really helps to solidify that in your mind. It's the first time you do it, it's a little awkward because you're not used to like hearing those types of things, or especially if you have a track record of a lot of self-defeating talk. It can be really uncomfortable for people to go about this process, but if you do it every single day and you stick with it and you start telling yourself these things, you'll begin to adopt the thought waves and the thought patterns that you have been telling yourself. And then when you start doing those, you can start taking action on those feelings that you get, those new feelings, those good positive energy feelings. And then once you start taking action on those feelings, that's when you'll get the results. And I can tell you, just for me personally, just this one thing has helped me, like just managing my money, for example. I have been able to manage my money tenfold. I have been able to, I'm a much better money manager. I'm much smarter with my money. I track my money. I know where every penny is going. I have a budget every month. And when you do those things, it gives you confidence. And when you get confidence, then those self-defeating thoughts and those negative thoughts tend to go away. Or not go away, I don't want to say that, they diminish. You don't hear them as much. And that's the first tip. The second tip is to take massive action. Now, I'll bet if you think about it, think about a time in your life when you decided to take massive action. I don't care in what area. Let's say it was playing video games or playing a board game or playing football or playing basketball or learning how to write or going to school. You took massive action in your classes, or I don't know, you're trying to find a house and you're looking for a house and you took massive action. What happened in those times? Well, for me, when that happened, I was so busy with taking action that those negative thoughts didn't even come into my mind. Like, they didn't even register in my brain because I was too busy taking action. I was too busy performing. I was too busy to have those thoughts. And when if you can keep yourself busy all the time, or keep yourself taking action all the time in the areas that you know you need to be taking action on the income producing activities, or the unurgent but important activities, instead of worrying about the urgent things all the time. That's a different topic. But if you can take action all the time and continue to be in action, then those thoughts, those negative thoughts, they don't come around. They don't happen. They don't. You don't have time to think about them. You don't have time to just sit and dwell on those feelings. When you sit and dwell on those feelings, that's when you take inaction, and that's when you get into a negative spiral, and you just go, right? You keep having more negative thoughts, and it's a snowball effect. Well, the same snowball effect is true on the converse, on the inverse, on the antithesis of that. If you take massive action, you gain more confidence. You don't have those thoughts. When the last time you took a day and you just, like, a super busy day, like you knew that, like, okay, man, this Saturday is going to be tough. It's going to be packed. I got a meeting with this person at 9. At 10, I got breakfast. At 11, I have another meeting. At 4, or at noon, I've got to go drop the kids off at their daycare or whatever. At 1 o'clock, I've got to get back to work. And you have like this huge day. Oh, after work, I gotta start finding some homes. I gotta start finding a place to live, or I gotta start looking for a new vehicle, or those days that are packed, and you're massively taking action. You don't worry about the negative self-talk. It doesn't enter your mind because you're so focused on what you're focused on. And an example for me, I want to tell a quick story about that. In the past 8 months, I've probably listened and read, man, hundreds of books. And when I say hundreds of books, I mean I've listened or read, it could have been the same book over and over and over and over again. I can tell you that I've read The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind at least 100 times at this point, or listened to it. And when you have that repetition and you take that much action, for me, by listening to all these audiobooks, I probably listened to, I don't know, anywhere between 20 to 50 different audiobooks in the last 8 months. But each of those audiobooks I probably listened to at least anywhere between 2 or 3 to hundreds of times. There's a few books that I listened to probably close to 50 to 100 times. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind was one of them. Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Quadrant was another one. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson was another one that I listened to a ton. Helps with your mindset. And I just took massive action on really purifying and detoxifying my mind of those thoughts. And when I listened to that material, when I took action on that material, and just the action of listening and consuming that those good audiobooks, those good books that I know are gonna be good for my mind and my brain. It's like brain food. Those negative thoughts, they go away. But the moment you stop taking action and stop doing those things that are providing that good knowledge, those negative thoughts start to creep back in. So you see, it's Newton's laws. What is it? An object in rest, always stays at rest. An object in motion always tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. That same law applies to uh, really anything you can think of. Negative thoughts. If you continue to have negative thoughts and dwell on them, you're going to have more of them. If you continue to take action and listen to good things that are going to edify your mind, then those things continue to happen and those negative thoughts go away. So that's number 2. Number 3 is you got to dig deeper. Okay, I'm going to call you out here, and you have to dig deeper. Um, so many people out there, just as soon as they go through something hard, it's victimization, right? And maybe you're doing that. Maybe you're acting like a victim. I know I've done it in the past. It's okay. It's not your fault. It happens to all of us. But moving forward, just dig deeper. Okay, you're stronger than that. You're better than that. You can do more. We humans are capable of incredible things, incredible things. And people who, if you're playing into that victim card, it's funny. Harv Eker in his book, he says, there's no such thing as a really rich victim. Think about that for a second. There's no such thing as a really rich victim. If you really think about it, it's true. And anybody who is a victim, who does play that victim card, tends to lose their money. I can think of a perfect example off the top of my head. If you follow football, NFL, Antonio Brown has been going through a slew of different things in his life, and if you've been following him, I haven't been following a whole lot lately, but I have heard a lot of the news, and he's had legal troubles, he's had family problems, and if you look at a lot of his social media, a lot of it is he kind of self-victimizes himself, and he's lost a lot of money. He couldn't he if he just kept his mouth shut, he would have made like $30 million. There was one weekend where if he just kept his mouth shut and didn't attract negative attention to himself, he would have made like 30 million bucks. But because he decided he couldn't shut up and he played the victim card, he lost a lot of money. And that's just one example. But another story for me is I'm really big into nutrition and fitness and keeping my body right. So I like to keep my mentality right, my brain right, my mindset right. I like to keep my body right. And nutrition is one of the best ways to keep both of those in great shape and keep them at top peak performance. What you put in your body is what you're going to get out of it. The fuel you put into it is what you'll get out of it. It's kind of like putting, unleaded gas and premium gas in your car, right? It runs better on premium gas. Or you could even do the whole electric car versus gas. It's just more efficient. And so that's why I take my nutrition and my fitness seriously. I work out every day. I started doing Insanity, the program Insanity on Beachbody. And Shaun T, his whole mantra is dig deeper, right? And he tells you to dig deeper, you can do more. And his program is hard. It's really, really hard. I've done it now. I've done his Insanity Max 30. I've probably completed that 3 times, the entire program. And I think I've done Insanity also 3 times. And there's a few other programs that I've done on there quite a few times as well. And just like exercising every single day and really, especially with the program like Insanity, it really teaches you to dig deep. And that's what I mean is when you think that you're done, I promise you have more in you. You have more, you can give more, you can push harder and push through it. And if you dig deep, it really helps you to get outside your comfort zone and help you grow. It really kind of gives you some mental rhino skin, and will help you to become a better and increase yourself by digging deeper. And the more you practice digging deeper, the easier those things become. So if you're, let's say on a scale from 1 to 10, let's say right now you feel like you're at a level 3 and you want to get to level 10. Let's say level 10 is the end all be all, you've reached your maximum potential. Well, if you have a problem that's a level 5 problem and you're at a level 3 and you're trying to achieve that level 5 problem, and let's say you get to level 5, then that level 5 problem is like, okay, yeah, I've done this before, I can do it, right? But let's say you grow to become a level 7 person now and you have that same level 5 problem. Well, at that point, if you're a level 7, the level 5 problem is not even a problem anymore because you've grown past it. It's not a, you don't even register it as a problem in your mind anymore. Because that's just, oh, that's old news. I've been there, done that, right? And when you constantly push yourself and we constantly dig deeper, you tend to adopt new ways of thinking. When you adopt those new ways of thinking, you get rid of all those old habits you had. All those negative self-reflections and those negative connotations and negative thoughts in your head, they tend to diminish and go down. And like I said, they never go away completely. Nobody ever has completely pure thoughts. Everybody has negative thoughts from time to time. It's just about controlling that muscle. And when you hear those negative thoughts, it's just about, all right, thanks for that. Now here's what I'm going to do instead. And you tell your mind, you tell yourself, you know what? No, I'm going to dig deeper. Screw you. Damn you. I'm going to go do it my way and I'm going to be successful. And you're not going to control my life. So I hope these 3 tips helped you. Again, they are declarations. You got to have some declarations to say to yourself on a regular basis to adopt new ways of thinking. Taking massive action, okay, and not letting yourself have, quote, empty space on your calendar. Always keeping yourself in massive action. And the third is to dig deeper. When you run into adversity, when you run into the hard stuff, just dig deeper. You can give more. Just get back up and keep going. You got to just take one step in front of the other, one step at a time. The fastest way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. That's it, one bite at a time. So take it one day at a time. Take it 1 hour at a time if you have to, 1 minute at a time if you have to, and just practice, 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 practice. Take massive action, dig deeper, have some declarations. Start telling these declarations to yourself in the mirror. Look yourself in the eye. Start saying these positive declarations to yourself, and over the course of time, if you do it every day, I promise you'll see massive results. You'll see huge changes. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead, give me one of those likes. Go ahead and subscribe, share. If you know of people who need help in this area, share this video with them. And if you have any suggestions for other videos in the future, go ahead and comment them down below. I'd be happy to, if you like this kind of content, give me a few ideas. Or give me a few challenges you've had in your life, and if you want some future videos on things like this. Also, if you want to, I did a recent video on how to find your why. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and post that right here. Should come up here if you want to check out that video, how to find your why. I'll go ahead and post that here. And I'll go ahead and link down in the description Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. It's a great book. I recommend you pick it up. And I hope you guys are doing well, be well, prosper, always learning, always growing, always pushing forward. All right, take care.